Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man whose year was made when he saw Scott Adkins on screen fighting Keanu Reeves. It's DJ Valentine.
The Baba Yaga.
All right, so real quick. Spoilers. If you haven't watched John Wick Chapter 4...
Fred, spoilers. Tommy, spoilers. Tell your daughter, get out of the way. Yeah, I know who you are. I've been following you for your whole life. I've been in the background. Move away. Samantha, look, we told you. Spoilers, all right? Don't act. How does he know our names? Trust me, I know it. So just make sure you know the spoilers, okay?
For John Wick Chapter 4, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
What? That's Chapter 3. Get your chapters right.
Listen, I love that Scott Adkins is in this movie. He's one of my favorites. I think you've probably heard me on Twitter just talk incessantly about Scott Adkins, and I've dedicated Deep Blue Sea episodes talking to him, Con Air. I've been a huge fan of his for a very long time. But I feel terrible for him because his run of getting killed in movies that get wide theatrical releases is just so strong. American Assassin, killed. Doctor Strange, killed. X-Men Origins, he's Deadpool, killed. In this one.
I forgot he was in Doctor Strange. That's how quick he got.
Expendables 2, killed.
Yes, definitely killed.
And it's like if a movie has over a $30 million budget and it gets a wide release, he's killed.
I like that movie. Was it you or Tim from First Time Watchers that told me to watch Avengement?
Oh, yeah, Avegement's amazing.
That movie is dope. That's a great Scott Adkins movie.
I think it was First Time because you gave them credit on the when we were talking about it.
So, Tammy, for listening, again, I have to genuflect to you. That movie's dope. and the good thing about Scott Adkins, he loves doing it. So it's like, hey man, he's such a down to earth about it. He probably is just as cool as we think it is that Scott Adkins is in this movie. He probably thinks it's even cooler. Like, holy crap, I'm in a John Wick movie. Because I saw the video of him like dancing around between takes in the fat suit. So he's probably having more of a ball than we are.
He's just happy to be there.
Yeah.
I love when Lawrence Fishburne saw John Wick, he got it. He messaged Keanu, get me in. When Scott Adkins saw this, he's like, get me in. And
that's what I want. That's what I want. I want people to care. I want people to want to be there. I don't want to see sleep. I don't want sleepwalkers. I want people that want to be there. And to its credit, every chapter of this, it seems like everybody is happy to freaking be there, which is good.
I mean, you know what I think, and I think Chad Stahelski is, from what I've heard about him, Lawrence Fishburne said he met him when he was 25, and he's like, he's just a solid dude. But from the vibe I've gotten from Keanu, and having been on a bunch of sets, Keanu's the leader, and he's there. He's always hurting. He's in ice baths. He carries gear. He is so dedicated that everyone else around him is kind of like, oh, well, I guess I should do this too. Like, right. He is the dream number one. And Adkins was talking about that. Donnie Yen was talking about that. You know what Donnie Yen said about this movie? He said that Chad Stahelski understands what Donnie Yen is trying to express with his action better than any other director he's ever worked with. Hong Kong.
Think about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Donnie Yen has made some of the greatest action movies of all time. He just said that about Chad Stahelski. Think about the people who Donnie Yen, who is a walking legend, has worked with. He said it about Chad Stahelski. That's crazy.
And And you know what's wild, too, is normally I don't like talking about movies that have been released this quickly out of theaters because I like to have a lot to research. Right. But, oh, my gosh, there are articles about the dragon fire. There's the staircase. Like, it's Sisyphus. Like, he's going up there's so much. There's 20-minute documentaries. There's behind the scenes. There's interviews.
The Lawrence of Arabia cut is the first thing in the movie where I'm like, that's straight from Lawrence of Arabia. They're referencing Lawrence of Arabia. Here we go. Here we go.
And Chad said he steals from the best.
Yes,
and this one, he's really upfront about it that this one is the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is his take on it. So he has, John Wick, you have Kane, and then you have Mr. Nobody.
Yeah, there is kind of a Mexican standoff at the end. So yeah, I'll give it to it. The fact that I told you he referenced it in the last movie, and he said this whole movie is dedicated to it. It's clear that thing that we were talking about the last time we talked about John Wick was probably on purpose. Then Because at the time I was like, I don't know if that was a happy accident when he makes the gun, the Tuco thing. I didn't know if it was just like, oh, happy coincidence. But the fact that he's like, chapter 4, the good, the bad, and the ugly. He clearly did that on purpose. If that's the case.
Like, and I love it. And he says steal from the best. I mean, if we watch, you go through this franchise, right? It's not the first club fight. It's not the first mirror fight. It's not the first glass house fight. They just want to make things look cool. And that makes me so happy about it. Also, too, I just watched a movie recently called Bruiser on Hulu, and Shamir Anderson is in it. And he is a completely different guy in it. I didn't even know it was the same guy. So when I looked him up, I'm like, whoa. So that guy's awesome. I'd seen him before, but he just fits so well into the role. It made me happy seeing
here's
that.
Here's the thing about chapter 4, and we have again, like you said, we have the benefit of recording this after seeing it a little bit ago. All the reactions have already come in, most of it good, judging by the box office.
Yeah.
But as I told you before, like I did listen to some of the detractors of this film, and here's the thing: some of their points are valid, except for the too long thing. I don't give a crap about long. If it's paced good, I don't care if it's 4 hours long, or if it's paced badly, it could be 30 minutes, and I want to jump out of a window. But yeah, length doesn't matter to me. The other criticisms, like the logic and the story, I can appreciate. And in listening, I know it must feel like to listen to me complain about, let's say, Fast and the Furious or something. But here's the thing about John Wick. I compare it to a greasy hamburger or a donut or a milkshake. But the burger and the donut and the milkshake are made by like a 5-star Michelin chef, It's like, it's a simple action revenge movie, but you're gonna get the best cinematography ever for probably an action movie. You're gonna get the best stunts for an action movie, the best gunplay. You're gonna have the best stuntmen. You're gonna have the best. You're gonna have some of the most iconic, like we talked about Donnie Yen, living legends in it, just walking around, strolling on the set. So we used to have movies that varied in quality, but you can tell, like you were saying, that people wanted to be there. People care. When you watch a movie and somebody doesn't care, or a show, you can tell right away. You can feel it in your bones. Like, guy doesn't seem like he gives a crap. When you watch a John Wick movie, okay, you can tell Keanu gave a crap about this scene. You can tell Chastelowski cared about this scene. Donnie Yen cared about this scene. Going all the way back, Ian McShane, he cares about this scene. I like movies that people care. I just watched Creed 3 the other day. Michael B. Jordan, clearly, I'm watching it. I was like, watching it, like, yeah, I don't really care about it. Then I watched it like 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh, they cared. This is actually really good. They wanted to make a good movie. Most of the movies that are bad now are like self-inflicted bad. Like they put the story second, or they put the care. That's not what they're trying to do. Top Gun Maverick, or Creed 3, and Andor, Picard Season 3, John Wick. You can just feel like they give a crap. I hunt for stuff now where people care. It's a rare commodity, if you think about it nowadays, of movies that people give a crap about. So yes, that's John Wick to me. It's that ever seen the menu that burger that Ray Fiennes makes? It's that burger. It's just a regular burger, but it's like the best burger you've had.
And like these people, they make this delicious burger. Like it's perfectly buttered, the bun's great, the burger's great, but then people are like, it's too big, or it's too this. Like,
right.
These action scenes are too long. I am exhausted, and it's just kind of.
Why are you here?
Yeah, like it's.
What did you come for?
It's an odd thing to complain about. And listen, everyone, like, we live in a world where there's billions of people, so we can all have different thoughts on things. It's totally fine, because we're all just enjoying things for different reasons. But I do think there are people out there who just sort of, like, they watch this movie that I think probably has one of the best cinematography in an action film since Skyfall. It has the spider cam scene. The action scenes definitely make sense. There's a Warriors homage. You have Marco Zarrar just walking around in the background as one of the throwing kicks out of nowhere. You have Sisyphus mentions. Like, you have Death Dogs. I mean, it is just loaded with amazing suits and tailored suits and walking scenes that had to be cut down because I guess the editor had to cut out a bunch of walking scenes.
You have a guy that bitch slaps John Wick and says, "I'm Klaus." It doesn't make any sense, but I think that was the biggest laugh in the entire movie.
And then the extras in that club, the extras who are dancing. Yeah. I normally hate extras in movies, but they nailed it. This is a well-made, cared for everyone enjoyed it, and then people were like, like, yeah, its action scenes are too long, and I just that seems like such an odd thing when these people cared so much for this movie,
It
and
doesn't
it's an
feel like
action movie.
it doesn't feel like a product. You gotta like watch a lot of franchise movies, Marvel, DC,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and they feel like an assembly line product. This does not feel like a product. This feels like you went to a hole in the wall mom and pop restaurant and they made you a hearty meal. It might not be, some kind of weird fusion, whatever. It's just like I want some mashed potatoes and meatloaf. And I was like, okay, you're gonna get some love in this mashed potatoes and meatloaf. It's nothing It's not breaking the wheel. It's just a guy trying to kill people. That's all the movie really is. But you're gonna get the more. You're gonna. As like we say in my neck of the woods, he put his toe in it. Like they made sure to say, look, if I can throw this kick, I want to make it as perfect as I possibly can. Donnie Yen, who again, I want to underline the point. There's like 3 other guys I can think of that are more iconic in martial arts than Donnie Yen. And I think this might be his best film performance I think I've ever seen other than Ip Man. I get it's right there for me because he steals this entire film.
In a turtleneck.
Yeah, in a turtle. He's blind, and he's like, this is the second time he's played a blind guy, and I think this is the better blind guy he's played because the one in Rogue One, he was almost like they didn't let him do a lot, and here it's like, oh, this is you kind of feel for him, and honestly, we talked about this last time. We talked about the Halle Berry character. I think this was the Halle Berry. I think his role was the Halle Berry character rewritten because a lot of his stuff is what Halle Berry was going through in 3. Because he has a daughter that he put away, and John Wick knows about it and all that stuff. And I love Halle Berry, but I think it works better with Donnie Yen. It's just if you got you when we saw the trailer for this, I was like, how can you pick somebody who can be on the level of we've had some great antagonists for John, but Donnie Yen is probably the best I can think of. Iko Uwais and Tony Jaa, the only ones left that they have not used in the John Wick franchise, which is fantastic to me, and Jackie Chan, I guess. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, they just bring in Joe Taslim, Iko, bring in them like that's because
put Jackie Chan and Jet Li as the head of the high table. Put you know what I'm saying, this throw Iko Uwais as their hand, because that's it. We've gotten pretty close. We had the other 2 guys from the raid. The only person you're missing is Iko Uwais.
Yeah.
But I think, and this probably scheduling and all that stuff, but that is it. We've been so, me and you personally have been so spoiled from this franchise. This is like, I want Donnie Yen in the movie. And I'm like, okay, we'll give you Donnie Yen. All right. You know what I want? I want a scene on a staircase that lasts for 10 minutes where John Wick is killing. Okay, here's your staircase scene. I want an overshot scene where a guy with a dragon. Oh, fine. Here, it's the movie spoils us. It's just a spoiling of me. It feels like it was made. We were talking about the Batman commentary, where like I felt the movie was just made for me, and I don't care who doesn't like it. It's like John Wick. It's like I don't care. They literally they might as well start the movie. DJ, thank you for coming to see John Wick Chapter 4. We did our best. I hope you enjoy the movie.
It's just dedicated to you.
That's what it felt like, man. That's what it felt like.
And you get Marco in there, and then like who's just been in so many different movies. You get like, and also too. I mean, Lance Reddick, he passed away, but he's a legend. And every time he was in that movie, I just like he's one of my favorite actors. Wire, Fringe. I remember watching The Wire in like 2007, 2008 on my tiny iPod screen when I was living in Korea. And it's just like, I remember watching him and thinking, this dude's awesome. Like, this guy's great. And then Donnie Yen made sense though, because it's the 4th John Wick. Like, you gotta step it up.
That's the mountaintop. That's the mountain right there. Yeah.
And like, listen, I love Dacascos. I love the Yaya and the guy from Raid 2. I have names on the tip of my tongue. They're amazing. But I mean, you get Donnie Yen, like that, it works so well, and you actually give him a backstory you care about. It's like, listen, my daughter is gonna die. I'm gonna kill everyone. Just come on. And then you get nunchucks with, you know what they had to work on when Keanu was hitting people with these nunchucks in this movie. These stunt coordinators were talking about how they don't want to do, like, Dark Knight Rises when there's guys who just fall down. or Anne Hathaway throws a kick, and then someone just falls down because, they shoot on film, so it's hard to do playback. I get it. But it's this one, they wanted Keanu to make contact, but then the nunchuck kept bouncing back at him, so he had to learn how to do the weight of it when he hit to not have the lighter nunchuck bounce back looking like it was fake. Like, this is the stuff they think about in the John Wick franchise. And I gotta tell you, I made a joke, but like, I would go to a 4D experience where you leave with a minor concussion and some bruised ribs.
A friend of mine went to see this in 4D, and they like they have the air puff when the bullets like whiz by and stuff. I was like, man, do I want to sit? Cause I watched it in the D box, which like rocks or reacts to the movie. 4DX is like that times a 10 essentially, and the first scene where he's punching the thing, the chair literally like jerks you back like with every punch. Man, this is it's so good.
It's so good.
It's a cinematic experience. We get so few of those nowadays.
And listen, like, I love, like, James Wan. I've always known about the spider cam, but when James Wan used it in *Malignant* with that shot, I went, holy mackerel. And then this one, they're like, hey, let's do a spider cam shot, and everyone is kind of like, that's kind of boring. What can we do? So they went around and added a ton of colors. They added the phosphorus bullets that light people up on fire. They added a dog. They added a really interesting, like, instead of just being, okay, we'll just shoot it from overhead. Like, that's a normal movie. This movie was like, no, we need more. We need bullets that make people erupt in fire. We need to lift this thing. He has a Genesis 12 shotgun that shoots phosphorus ammunition called Dragon's Breath. They made the ceilings 12, 15 feet high. They had the stunt coordinator counting down 1, 2, 3, so everyone knew their steps. It's such a wonderful way, because like some movies, I think they're like, okay, we'll just put the camera up here, and we'll do that. Like this one. And it took 3 days to film, which is insane how they made that. Yeah. And it's just, I think, I don't know, I just like it. And also too, I love exactly what you said about how, like, I teach my students meat and potatoes. So you watch Mad Max, there's a lot to it. I'm just going to generalize real quick. Mad Max Fury Road, they go one way and then they come back.
Yep.
Top Gun Maverick, we have a mission. I'm going to train you on the mission. We go on the mission. Exactly. John Wick 4, they killed my dog. I'm going to kill everybody. And then that gets me deeper into it. I think sometimes when you have a very quote unquote simple narrative, you can add all that cool character stuff. You could add what you have in John Wick 4, the staircase, the nunchucks, the glass, the Tokyo fight, just some amazing action scenes, because we know the story, we know he's being hunted, and that he's just trying to kill. He wants to kill all the head table. And that's like, it's almost very high concept. Like in Mad Max Fury Road, you go one way, you come back, so you know where you're going. Top Gun Maverick.
It's a car chase, but it's going to be the best car chase you've ever seen.
Like, and you know what? Like Mad Max Fury Road took a lot of inspiration from Stagecoach. And sort of the other Mad Maxes. And then you have Top Gun Maverick. It has a Star Wars run.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you do that you do it in a canyon because the people in Top Gun, they learned if you just have a plane in the air, it doesn't look fast. But if you have it on the ground, it looks super fast because it's flying past things. So they're like, okay, we'll just do that. And so I think when you keep things familiar for audiences to where they're not doing tons of mental gymnastics, you can just embrace in the carnage in France. You can embrace on phosphorus bullets. You can embrace in like Carfu. I think it's so well made is what I want to say. And I think the very successful action films that have come out understand that. Like, I don't know, The Raid. Hey, let's go up. Dread.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go up. Like Die Hard. I'm in a building.
I'm in a building, yeah.
Predator. There's an alien.
Die Hard was like, hey, let's make an action movie where the main character is not he's a regular guy. So that was the conceit of that movie. It is probably the greatest action movie ever made. This very simple stuff. When you simplify it, you can hone it to make it the best it could be in every facet of it. And again, in terms of the story, it's not like, Merchant of Venice, but it's it's very simple to where, okay, everybody understands what's going on. John Wick has to go here. Okay, let's go. Now that we've got that all out the way, we have a scene where John has to go from A to B. How do we make this cool? Now you're focused on making the movie cool, which means you're focusing on entertaining the audience. So much stuff that comes out, again, nowadays, this is me on my stupid soapbox again, it's not about entertaining the audience. It's like fifth. It's about all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, make stuff to entertain the audience. I think Tom Cruise got that right. Whether you love him or hate him, he got that. Make sure the audience leaves happy. Make sure that happens. Make sure that is your focus. A lot of stuff, I will remain nameless, is not about that. It's like the 10th thing, and you can tell. It's like, wait, what? But this is subverting expectations and all that stuff. That's fine, but I'm not entertained. Why are you not focusing? I want to see John Wick kill something. If it was made by somebody who didn't care or who wanted to trick the audience, he wouldn't. We're going to put John Wick in a coma in this movie, and he's going to be in it, but he's just not going to be able to walk. And we're going to focus on something else, and then we're going to get it. No. I came to see John Wick kill somebody. Make sure I get to see John Wick kill somebody, and guess what? From the word go, I get to see John Wick kill somebody. So for the whole movie, I've been entertained. And that the dragon breath fire shotgun scene, at that point, I'm like, before that happened, I'm like, I don't know if they're going to be able to, how are you going to have a climax? Because I've just seen some amazing stuff. And then the dragon breath scene happened. I'm like, oh my God. And then you get the staircase. Because that dragon breath scene, I have never, and I think they showed that it was done in for a video game. They got the
I have it written, yeah, like a 2019. It's a Japanese game.
Yeah. I saw somebody put it online. I had never seen that in a movie before, so I literally just started, like, when it started happening, and I realized what they were doing, I was like chuckling to myself, like, I don't freaking believe this. When a movie can make me just go verbally out loud as I'm watching it, I don't freaking believe this. What is happening? You've accomplished your goal. I should be leaving the movie going, did you see that part with the thing? And did you see the other part with it? That's, your movie's successful if you can get me to do that to somebody else. If you can get me to walk up to somebody and say, hey, look, I'm not going to tell you anything about this movie. I need you to watch it. That means your movie's a hit. If a movie sucks, I'm like, look, Rey is Palpatine's daughter. Whatever. I don't care. I'll spoil the whole thing. It's just crap. But if it's good, I was like, look, shut up, get offline, and go watch this movie. And that's what I was telling Justin on my show, that me and Matt had seen it, and we were talking about it, and he goes, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I was like, Matt, shut up. Don't say anything else. Justin, we're going to end this podcast right now, and you're going to go watch that. Go watch that right now.
Yeah, don't have it be successful. Don't have it be so spoiled. Like, don't spoil. And also, the game was Hong Kong Massacre. I said it was Japanese. My apologies. I think I've got that messed up because Chad and Keanu at the end of most Frost tours, they end in Tokyo, and there's a bar they love, and they start drinking scotch, and they come up with the idea for the next movie. So let's hope that they do it again and come up with the John Wick 5.
Well, the next movie is the Ballerina, apparently, or Ballerina with Ana de Armas, which, if it's Stahelski still directing it, and I think it's a prequel or something, and Keanu's in there. We talked about Keanu. We know you listen to me and Mark. We wax poetic about your universe, and we went into the things and how you can expand it. And we already knew this. We know we listened to so because when I started watching it, you came into my mind because we had this long conversation in the last show about we wanted the Odenkirk character in this one or something. And when the tracker goes, I'm nobody, I'm like, oh, come on. Get out of here.
Yep. That's not an accident. Like, they have Kurt Russell, Mr. Nobody in Furious 7. They have Nobody and Nobody, and then they have Nobody here. They don't hide any of it, do they? They don't hide it. And also, too, Keanu loves working with Ana de Armas because they were in Knock Knock. I think they were in Without Remorse. No, that's the Michael B. Jordan movie that Chad Stahelski is directing the sequel to. They have it Without a Trace. I don't know. They did another show, and then this is their third one.
You probably recommended her, if I had to guess, yeah. And now she's an Oscar-nominated actress, so that doesn't hurt.
Exactly. And she was good in No Time to Die. The action scenes that
she's the best thing in No Time to Die, I would say. That scene in Cuba when it's her and Bond is the only time I think in that movie where it felt like when I say typical, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, like, it felt Bondy to me, and she was the best. It felt like, oh, that was really cool. That's like interesting. That's a way you subvert expectations. It's a good way where you think she's like this ditzy, doesn't know anything, and then when action happens, she's actually capable. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then she leaves the movie. I'm like, oh, darn it. It's just like 10 minutes of her.
And he doesn't sleep with her, and it's amazing.
He had mutual respect for her. It was like, wow, she was actually, you're actually really good. I hope I get to work with you again. I was like, yeah, I hope you do, James. because, because she's actually the best part of this movie, and then the rest of the movie happened, and you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I won't get into the rest of that.
I do like what you're saying about subverting expectations, and the Wick movies avoid that. And listen, I don't mind subversion of expectations, but I think there's a thing out there where people are like, you didn't like it because it subverted your expectations. Like, no, I just didn't like it because I don't think that's a smart way to subvert
Right.
expectations. And so this one's like, no, like we're gonna refer like we are just gonna have Wick killing people, and then he gets into a duel with a dude, and then they meet at the end, and then him and Donnie Yen shoot each other.
If
And
you do it, it better be brilliant.
mm-hmm.
You can't just do it to, man, gotcha. The gotcha stuff it's infuriating to me. And then even more infuriating is you're just mad because they gotcha. No, I'm mad because I'm not entertained. I'm a king, okay? I'm sitting on a throne. You're the jester. You come up to me and you juggle those balls, and they better entertain me. If not, off with your head. That is entertainment. I don't think people understand that. In sports, in movies, in TV, you are not more important than me. I am the king. You are the entertainer. You have to come here and entertain me. If not, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to get another jester who's actually going to entertain me. And I swear, I think that you listen to these interviews with people who are making stuff, I think they got it switched in their head where we're not making it for you. If you're not making it for me, then I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to watch something who's here to entertain me. John Wick is not just juggling balls. He's juggling knives. He's juggling shotgun shells. He's a good jester. Some other movies will remain nameless are bad jesters where they're juggling it for somebody over there. And it's not even juggling. It's like one ball and they're just rolling it down the street. No, I want a good jester, Mark. I want a good jester. That's all I want.
But you know what makes me happy too is that these movies are appreciated. So like this movie's already made 245 million worldwide. Critics love it. The critics love the other ones. They've all made money. So it just makes me happy that something that puts so much care into these is being rewarded. And I
Yeah.
feel like that happens for most films that like Top Gun Maverick, Mad Max Fury Road. A lot of these movies, people go, "Oh," and then they react really well to them because they're well crafted, meant to entertain. Like Tom
The
Cruise,
care is there on the screen.
he goes around the world to different theaters, talks to theater owners, watches audiences to get what all like the entire international cinema world loves. Like
Right.
he wants theaters built. Like he wants to know what they like, and it makes me happy. And you know what's interesting with Keanu Reeves is he cut a lot of his dialogue in this movie, and but I think the wrong kind of articles were shared about it, where a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he only has 380 lines of dialogue. This is this, and this per minute, and he got paid this much." But if this is the good, bad, and the ugly, how much does Clint Eastwood say in his
And let me ask you a question. How much training did Clint Eastwood have in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
yeah,
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
Keanu Reeves, he might not say anything, but he does like 70% of his own stunts. I'm pretty sure you can hit the Daniel Day-Lewis, God bless him, is probably the only one I can think, actor-wise, that's going to sit there for years training the way they act like Keanu Reeves just showed up on set and then didn't say anything and went home. No. How many videos of him out of range do we need to see to say he's earning his paycheck? He's not sitting there sleeping. I saw that tweet and I'm like, are you implying that he's sleepwalking through the movie? Because I don't think you've ever seen a John Wick movie if you think Keanu Reeves isn't earning his money. He earned that check. If Tom Cruise is hanging outside of a plane, I don't give a damn how much money you're giving him. He earned that because I'm not hanging out outside of a plane. I'm not going to train for 8 months in jujitsu and judo and Krav Maga and Kung Fu and nunchucks that I use for one scene in a movie and every firearm known to man. He earned that because he cares. Dialogue is good. I'm a huge with dialogue. It's fantastic. But like you said, Clint Eastwood, good, bad, the ugly, doesn't really need to say anything. And you know what? The inflection of the actor is fantastic. When you watch a movie where somebody doesn't have a lot, you think this is the first movie where the star doesn't have a lot of dialogue that's impactful? Get out of here! Get out of here with that stuff. That's insane.
and what's wild is that this is John Wick 4. This is a guy who was the Baba Yaga. He's killed more people than he could ever count. His wife died. His dog died. His friends are dying. He's killed the living daylights out of everybody, and he's on a singular mission. He's not going to talk a lot. Paloma in No Time to Die, she talked a lot, but she's incredibly talented, but she's a young upstart.
Ryan
And
Gosling didn't talk a lot in Drive. Did anybody have a problem with Drive?
exactly,
No.
or Only God Forgives, which I love.
Only God Forgives. Dread. Anybody got a problem with Carl Urban? I think he's arguably. I don't even think it's an argument. It's the best Dread movie, Dread anything ever made ever.
Yeah. And it's just
you don't need dialogue for it to work.
It's odd that he was singled out because if you just look at the character, he's tired. I have a question, DJ. When you've had a long day and you're beat up, right? Let's say a thing of popcorn fell on your foot. Let's say you walked into a door. Just customers annoyed you. When you go home after a very long day, you're not just gonna get online and start chatting with people. Like you just sort of want to sit by yourself, catch up on soccer, have a whiskey or whatever, bubbly water, and just sit there.
When I'm not talking to Mark Hoffmeyer on my own podcast, I literally do what he just said. I grab my dog. I don't talk. I go on my couch. I turn on an Arsenal game. And I just sit back and I turn my phone to silent. I don't talk to anybody. I got to talk all day. I got to talk at work. I got to talk for the podcast. I got to write for the podcast. I got to do dialogue. I don't like talking. I hate people. So yes, and nobody has shot at me. Yeah. Nobody has killed my dog. Nobody has killed my wife. So of course, and that logic. I think it was just somebody trying to do isn't it cool that he only said this amount of dialogue? How much did he get paid per word? And they didn't even factor in the fact that he also fell down a flight of stairs twice. He also
dozens of times probably. He had to run up that thing dozens of times in cut takes. Yeah. Like the director's cut's 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Please, Chad, we're gonna need that director's cut. I don't care what. Don't listen to anybody. I know you listen to the show. Don't pretend you don't. I don't give a crap what anybody says. Me and Mark, we're gonna need all the footage, all of it, please. If Snyder can get a freaking day, an HBO cut, whatever, we need this. We need the John Wick cut. I need the Chad Stahelski cut. I need all of it. I need all the footage, all of it, please.
Yeah, send it to us. movefilmflix@gmail.com.
Care of.
Yeah. Send it to us.
Don't care about anybody else. You can send it to us too. If you don't want to send it, if you don't have the money to produce it and ask, then send it to Mark and I. We'll be fine. We'll.
We don't need to finish VFX. Just come on.
No, I'll take it. I'll take it as is, man. I'll take it as is. Rough cut. That's fine.
And also too, like what I love, Nathan Orloff was talking about this movie in the 3 hour 45-minute cut. Nathan was hired to edit this movie because Nathan didn't have much experience with action. So Chad Stahelski was kind of like, well, I just wanted someone who like didn't go, oh, I cut action all the time. This is how you cut action. Like he wanted someone who like didn't quite know how to do it. Like I think he just sort of knew how to like, he just wanted to make it the best he can. And also he wrote, the goal is to bring a fresh perspective to the proceedings, with Stahelski referencing a large swath of cinematic touchstones. The spaghetti westerns of Sergio Leone, the seminal samurai films of Akira Kurosawa, the silent acting of Buster Keaton, anime, and if you can believe it or not, Singing in the Rain, which so many movies have referenced Singing in the Rain. They never emphasize the dancing with the editing, they cut around it. Orloff says of the 1952 Gene Kelly musical, and so that's how we approach John Wick, not as a typical action movie. And I love that about it. It's an action movie, but they're editing it in a way that's not lazy, or they're not just like, yeah, this is punch, kick, punch, edit, punch, kick, clip, punch, kick, wide shot. Like they filmed it in a way that, and edited in a way that
you can see what's going on. The fights are not only make sense, but are clear. I just in terms of stuff that we've seen, there's not a lot of great action stuff. How much great action stuff do we have? Even the Marvel movies and the DC movies.
None of those.
They're not edited in a way where it's like they pull the camera back so you can appreciate. This is what pissed me off about Shang-Chi and Iron Fist. And I'm like, man, you should have got this to feel like one of those. If I got a redo, I'd get Gareth Edwards to do Iron Fist or Shang-Chi. Because then everybody, no matter if you like Iron Fist or not, you're going to watch it because you want to see because that's one of the guys. See how Mark reacted there? If you don't know who that guy is, that's the Raid guy. No matter what you know about the Raid, when you walk in, the action scenes are amazing. Watch Gangs of London, the TV show. You know the action scenes are going to be insane. And you got a character who's literally based in martial arts, and there's maybe 2 fights. It's like, wait, why doesn't Iron Fist and Shang-Chi look and feel like John Wick? Why not? Why not do that? It's not expensive. What movie do you think had the bigger budget, Shang-Chi or John Wick Chapter 4?
I would say
I'm pretty sure Shang-Chi.
probably by, probably by 75 million, 50 million.
So why do I look at Shang-Chi and it looks like a product, and I look at John Wick and it looks like some action epic with cinematography that rivals Nicholas Winding Refn? Like what's going on here that's not going on here? That's the thing that bugs me. I'm like, when I'm watching John Wick, I'm like, why is this the only thing like this? What's going on? You all should be copying this. You should be aspiring to be this. Maybe not in story, but in presentation. Just make it look good. Why are you not focusing on making it look? Why are you being a bad jester? Be a better jester.
Yeah, John Wick 400 million, Shang-Chi 150 to 200. And
150 to 200.
And like,
yeah.
listen, I enjoy. That's probably one of the more enjoyable Marvel movies I've watched recently. But this is the way I look at things, where you have a few classics. Like, look at Alien. An alien comes aboard a ship and attacks people. It's a simple idea, air quotes simple, but there's not many of them. And so for me,
even the sequels can't really replicate the first one.
Like, they can't, and it's such a simple idea. Yeah. But for me, I look at like how many, like I look at sports, right? You know, we watch a lot of soccer, you and I, or football, doesn't matter. How many games are there like Maradona, you know, like when his hand of God? How many are there of Messi, who just won the World Cup? Like, there aren't that many all-timer games. There's a lot of good games. There's a lot of decent games. There's some surprises. Leicester City will come up and overperform.
Or styles. There's not a lot of champagne football. There's a lot of Conte football where you sit back and nobody really, this is past the football people complain about when they watch soccer. Like, this is boring.
But Atletico Madrid.
Yeah. Like, if you watch or you watch somebody like Brighton, or for example, you're going to see actual, like, wow, that was really exciting. Like, oh, there's back and forth. Why, when you're making a movie based on show based on martial arts, is John Wick the only one like it? Now, there's other stuff that we know about, like Ip Man.
It's hard. Listen, Stileski has been in the industry since '99 on The Matrix.
Right.
And he is a very unique talent. Stuntmen have been making movies for a long time. And I just think, I really believe you have Derek Kolstad wrote a banger of an idea for John Wick. The guy the dog death, whatever. Guy comes out of retirement, and he's going to kill the ever-living daylights out of people who killed his dog. And you create this world with coins, hotels, and it's such a interesting idea. And the fights, like, you get Daniel Bernhardt to fight Wick in the club. Boom, you get 2 solid MMA fighters, Keith Jardine, to come in there. Then you sort of have a fun, like, car chase. Then have this, like, I think what they're doing is hard. I really believe that. Like, when you watch Spider-Man 2, that train scene, there's not many like it.
No,
so I guess
still not been topped.
I'm not saying this is good or bad, but for me, I've watched so much movies, and so have you. I'm not saying you haven't, but like, for me, my take on movies is I don't really ever expect them to be great. But when they are, I fully embrace them. And listen, that's not good, but I mean, like, I feel like there's also too, Wick had the luxury of starting small. The budget was what, 30 million for the first one? And then it got a little bigger, and now it's huge. A lot of these Marvel movies are 250, 300, and with relatively inexperienced directors. And so you're going to have it's all product. It's produced. I think this one is directed. So for me,
look at Fury Road.
Yeah, but there's not that many of them.
8 years ago. Yeah. Has there been anything close to what we saw? Close, not even the same, just close to Fury Road in 8 years. No, that's insane to me. Once that movie came out and it got like 12 Oscars, you think, yo, why can't we do this? Let's do something like this, or at least shoot it like this. And I think it's that thing you're talking about where it's, I don't think these studios give them the time to do it, because you're saying it's hard. I say, it's not, when you say hard, understand, it's not hard to do. I think it is hard to do, but it takes time to do right. And I don't think these movies are given the time to do it right because Keanu is one of the producers. And he's in it. He's gonna give it the time. Lionsgate's gonna give you the time to do it. Marvel's not gonna give you the time. You got 6 months. Good luck. DC's not gonna give you the time. You got 6 months. So it's like, man, if you guys would just take a step back, craft something, know where you're going, know what your objective is, and craft something. I'm making a movie about Doctor Strange, right? He's a wizard. I want this to be the most psychedelic experience ever. I need more than 6 months to do that, okay? I need about a year and a half to make a good script, crazy, wild, mouth of madness, insanity. I need more than 6 months. I'm making Shang-Chi. I need more than 6 months, especially in a COVID era, to make a movie based on a comic book character who's literally the embodiment of Bruce Lee. We got to put more than one fight scene in a movie where a guy is based off of the greatest martial artist that ever lived. Can we do that, please? You need more than 6 months. And I think that's the issue. They're not given time to do this stuff. Not at all. John Wick was supposed to come out last year, and they pushed it a year. And product is, if you look at the screen, it looks like it was pushed back a year because there is barely any flaws in it in terms of the way they shot it. It looks like, it doesn't look like it's rushed. It looks like they took the damn time on all these set pieces and stunts and effects and cinematography and fights. It looks like there was time put in. A lot of this stuff looks like this food that they warmed up in a microwave, and it's not even, it's not cooked. This hamburger is not fully cooked in the middle. It's bleeding all over my plate over here. What's going on?
With Mad Max Fury Road, I mean, they went to Gambia, and there's an entire book about how insane the filmmaking was for it.
Yeah.
Look at The Revenant. Look how insane that was.
Yeah.
I think some of these great action movies, too, are just incredibly hard things to got. I mean, look at every James Cameron movie.
Yeah, look at Avatar. I was going to say Avatar. Even though I'm not a fan of Avatar, you can't tell me he didn't take the time. That was what 14 years or something like that.
Yeah, and it paid off. So I think, but we're you know what's interesting? I know a lot of people are like, movies aren't like they used to. I think we're in a great time for movies because the amount of voices that are now making movies and the amount of sort of international distribution, like Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Petite Maman, RRR, Parasite, those movies are now making huge waves around the world, and I love it. But I also think we're in a content war of people needing to push out content as fast as possible to capture that. So for me, my expectations have become so low that I know when I'm getting a good hamburger. Like
yeah, you take that bite, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
And I guess that's like, a lot of people are like, Mark, you're too positive about movies, which I hate, and I think it's like really odd, and I don't get it. But I guess for me, I just look at them all in context. And so I guess maybe I'm so nihilistic, I just never expect things to be good. Like when Andor started hitting, DJ, I can't explain to you how happy I was. Like when
me and Mark would be messaging each other like, can you freaking believe this? I'm on episode 3. I'm on episode 4. Don't tell me anything. See, that's an example. Mark would be ahead of me, and he would tell me, wait till you get to episode 5. But he wouldn't tell me anything because he cared because it was good.
Good. But it feels like I've been shot out of a cannon when I watch stuff like this. I'm serious, man. Like sometimes you get such a high from a good movie. And so I guess most movies I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. It'll be fun. It's content. I don't expect much. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if that's insulting the filmmakers, but that's why I adore this John Wick franchise. It's, you get Scott Adkins, you put him in a fat suit, then you have him fight in a Russian club with water pouring on him.
I wanted him to do the scorpion kick he does?
Yes.
I thought he was going to do it. I was like, do it in the fat suit. He did the roundhouse, and I was like, all right, that's pretty cool.
He's like a boxer. They wanted him to be like Sammo Hung, right? And Mike Tyson combined. And I love it, and just I don't know. I love too that Lawrence Fishburne was talking to Keanu Reeves, and Keanu just goes, I haven't spoken in like 15 weeks. Like it's hilarious. And also Keanu Reeves said this movie is a beautiful feast with multiple courses and a nice glass of wine. Like that's what it is.
It's food.
Yeah.
It's food.
And like also there's a couple things we haven't talked about yet, and that's Bill Skarsgård as the Marquise. Like I love him in this movie. Like just the suits, the accent, the
Those Skarsgårds. Let me tell you something about these Skarsgårds. Okay, I'm watching the other Skarsgård on Succession, and he's pretty good. Andor, we just talked about it. The other Skarsgård, Stellany, also pretty good. These Skarsgårds, I don't know what to tell you, Mark. They're pretty fucking good.
Pretty good. And you know what I love about them is they pop up over in the weirdest movies.
Yep.
Like they'll be in War on Everyone, but then they'll be in Tarzan, then they'll be in Andor, then they'll pop up in Barbarian. And then one's in Vikings. Like they're all like, and then they're in another show, but they're all different. They don't just get stuck in a bubble. Or like, I'm sorry, and what's the word? Stuck in they don't want to get pigeonholed, I guess, in a certain role. But watching him in this movie, the accent, when he cuts nobody's hand, and just, you know what though, if I had Marco as my backup, if he was my muscle, I would be the most overconfident dude in the planet too. Like imagine being the crime lord and having John Wick being your guy.
Bro, if I had John Wick as my second, holy crap, people would hate my guts. You talk about Karen. Oh, Jesus, I'd be the biggest Karen of them all. I want to speak to your manager. Just John, handle my lightweight, please. What's with this guy, huh? You think John Connor in the T800 was a problem? DJ with John Wick? I would go to restaurants just to complain. Just to complain.
And then Wick's just sitting there like, oh, the Baba Yaga. Oh, man.
Have you met my friend here? The Baba Yaga.
If I had Chidi with me, though, all the time with his kicks, I would in his bulletproof suit, I would be a nightmare DJ. Like you said, I would just...
Mark is going to buy... He's going to go to a restaurant. He's going to order food, take a bite, and go, I'm sending this back. But sorry, I'm sending it back. It's too cold in here. Can you turn the air up or down, please? Whatever nomenclature you use, please. I'm a little chilly.
Everything that's waiting for me on my opulent palaces has to be brand new. Like I don't want a Whopper that's been under the heat lamp for 20 minutes. Like I want my burger I just want burger bars all throughout.
You know what? When you watch those commercials, those commercials from restaurants, and they look like they're making an egg sandwich with actual eggs. He's gonna want that to actually happen. When they pour it out of a carton, but in the commercial they're usually real. Mark's like, this seems like it's out of a carton. Where's your actual eggs? I want an actual McDonald's. I want actual eggs in this one, please.
Oh no, it's the Marquise coming back.
You have a problem with my request? I just want to make sure you. There's something I said that was a little bit off-putting. Is that what you're telling me?
And the Harbinger's behind me, just going, ugh.
Clancy Brown. The whole time I'm like, the best Lex Luthor of them all. The whole time.
You got the villainous Highlander, the guy from just there, hanging out. And also too, like I love the Japanese battles. You have Hiroyuki Sanada, Shimazu, and then you also have Rina Sawayama as Akira, who Chad Zaleski was like, who do I cast? And he typed in Japanese pop stars and found her.
I saw the interview, and I'm like, really? She's great. I think she's gonna be expanded. I believe they're gonna base it on here's the thing. We don't know exactly how they're going to expand this universe. I know they are. We don't know how the ballerina is what they're gonna use out of that. But you can, like we said in the last show, you can go every character in this movie, and this is not a slide on Keanu. Every character in this movie, I could have followed them and not been bored. I could have followed Kane and not been bored. I could have watched a whole movie about Scott Adkins guy. That guy is so cool. I could have watched. He's only in the movie for like 25 minutes, but I would have watched a whole movie about that guy, dude. Klaus?
Yeah, it's Klaus.
A Klaus movie. Tell me about Klaus.
Klaus just kind of goes and comes. Like I feel like Klaus is the guy that no matter where he goes, like enemy, friend, foe.
He's an untouchable. He's like he's like James Caan in The Way of the Gun. He just goes. He's a bag man. He just whatever Klaus. You don't even shoot at Klaus. It's not worth it. He's almost higher than the head of the guy who sits above all. He's the living tribunal, Klaus.
The Marquise is like, how's Klaus? Just.
Klaus has sent us a message. We can't keep him waiting. We have this Klaus.
If this is Jets vs. Sharks, he could go back and forth between them.
He's the guy who goes in between all the rival stuff. I would love that. Klaus He talks to the head of the high table. He talks to the marquee. He talks to John Wick. He talks to the Barrio. Okay, he just goes in. He's the go-between. He's so good. He's so good.
Like you and I are the head of the Florida chapter, right? We have the Miami Continental, right? And you and I are just hanging out. I feel like you and I would be hanging out one day drinking Blanton's because that's so much product placement in this movie. We would just be hanging out drinking Blanton's. I would look to my right, you would look to your left because we're just sort of looking at each other at the table, and Klaus would just be there, like unannounced.
If Klaus were to show up, I would like. It's one of those times where you're like playing your Xbox and your mom like catches you. You like stand up from the table. Oh, Klaus is here, guys. Because everybody, hey.
How'd you
Fix
get
your tie,
here?
stupid. Fix your tie. It's Klaus.
Wait, did someone walk you up? This door is locked. I'm Klaus.
I'm Klaus.
Fair enough.
Go where I want.
Fair enough.
Give him the best room, the best wine, please. I would treat Klaus like a king. I would treat him like a king.
Would he trash his hotel room, or would you not even know he was there?
It's funny. I bet you Klaus's hotel room after he was done, when he left, it would look just the same, but everything would be a little off. Like the bed would be turned a little bit to the left. The lamp shade would be tilted a little bit. It's like, he was here, but was he?
It's like a specter.
The shower curtains would be like undone, but wrapped neatly on top of the sink. It's like, what happened in this room?
The Gideon Bible's in another drawer.
Is it another?
That Klaus.
Damn it, Klaus.
And but he tips well, so that's good.
He's a very good tipper. Look at you have to be a very good tipper if you're running with the John Wick clan, as it were.
My goal in life, though, is like Katya in this movie. I know she worked with Klaus, and Tonks from Harry Potter was making me happy. But I want to look as cool as she does in a movie one day. She has like the slick back hair, the tattoos. Like I want to have that, but like a Florida look and look that cool, and not James Franco from Spring Breakers.
I think I want to. If I had to be a character in this movie, I wouldn't be Barrio King. I think I would want to be the Harbinger. I like the guys that are like there. They can say whatever they want to anybody, but nobody, like Klaus or the Harbinger, nobody says anything to them. Because Harbinger like reads Skarsgård the riot act for a little bit. Skarsgård could just, you would think, be like, kill him, but he doesn't do that because he's not. Harbinger just floats on his own, man. He just does what he wants. He comes and goes. He has a big freaking dial, time dial or whatever.
Oh yeah, he does. Just pops it out perfectly.
Yeah, man. This place has been desecrated or deconsecrated. The consecrated? What's the word he used?
Something with D.
Yeah.
He's gonna do a deconstructed burger on them.
He would eat a deconstructed burger. I was like, I want the burger, the bun, the cheese, all separated on a plate.
And you know who I would want to be in this world is one of the Shinobi assassins, but I'm not that like lithe. I'm not like a puma, so I don't think I could do that. So I do think Cassian lives. I think Cassian survives.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping one of those guys would come back.
And I'm happy they weren't, because then I kind of would have been like, oh, fan service. Like they refuse to give us fan service, which is interesting. But I, in my brain, think that Cassian's alive. I would like to be.
Would you want to be Peter Serafinowicz' character in part 2?
I'm not that slick, man. I'm not a smooth guy. Like, if I had to do that, I'd be like, listen, this gun, this gun, this gun, this is for that. This.
Would you want to be the cop? Would you want to be the cop from part 1?
He kind of creeps me out.
John, working some things out.
Yeah, I like him. I'm telling you, I would be Cassian because I get hired, but everyone knows I'm not as good as John Wick or Zero, but I can still fight John Wick to a reasonable degree, which means
it's not an embarrassment. You could hang with John Wick in a fight.
Which means I'm what? Tougher than 99.9999999999999999999% of the population.
Exactly.
It's like if I'm in the club, people are like, oh no. But if John Wick's in the club, I got to get booted from the VIP lounge.
You know what? I think I'm Mark Dacascos. I think about it because I'm like a fan of all these guys. Is that the dog? I think I'm him. I think I'm that guy. Is that the dog?
Yep.
I want to be Ian McShane, but I think I'm Mark Dacascos. I think I'm that guy. I'm the fanboy, the John Wick fanboy that's just roaming around.
Listen,
that was a pretty good fight, huh, John? That's me. That's me. I think I figured it.
He would let us live too. Like I'd be like, listen, Wick, this is nothing personal, but I kind of have to fight you now. It's not for the whatever's on your head, the bounty. This is just you killed the lady I was watching, so now we got to fight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then he would just destroy me and let me live.
See, but you're fun. I don't think Cassie is any fun. There's no fun to Cassie. He doesn't tell a one joke in that movie. He's very like stoic.
But here's the thing though, he has no chance to be fun because the first time he's like, well, I was a bouncer for many years and I managed events and hotels.
Right.
And Comic-Cons, like everyone called me Mr. Grumpy. So when I'm thinking, everyone tells me that I look very kind of angry, like I want to fight people. But in my head, I'm like, oh, so it's 2:00 now. Shatner's coming back here. So then we'll do this. I have these extras over here. We got this food event at 3. I'll go over there. But I guess people read that as like, I'm going to kill you all. So, he's in his head. He finds his boss killed. And then it's just him hunting down Keanu. And then he doesn't really want to have a drink with him. Like,
No.
he's like, listen, I like gin and tonics, whatever. I would have done the whiskey, but gin and tonics are cool too. I would do some Hendrix, some, like a cucumber and like some nice, whatever.
But you're more pleasant. I think you're like Bobek, the big basketball player guy that John Wick needs to like.
Wait, I'm Kevin Nash.
Oh, you know what? You're Kevin Nash. Hey, take the night off. All right, that's
because Wick respected him enough.
That's the smartest move anybody in a John Wick movie has ever done. It's just, yeah, I'm good. I'm out.
And Wick respected him enough to give him an option.
Yep, you're Kevin Nash.
Yes, I just walk away.
Kevin Nash was in that movie for like 5 minutes because he was the bouncer, and John Wick told him take the night off, and he did. He said, "I'm not getting shot today."
First and foremost, he knows his name. Second, he's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Third, he lives. Like that's all. Well, if John Wick knew my name, that means you've done something right. If John Wick lets you live, you've done something right. If you're smart enough, too. And you have, and also too, he does not have an ego. No. It's like, maybe I could take him.
No, he doesn't. He's not that guy. He knows his limitations. A man's got to know his limitations. Kevin Nash knew his limitations. I'm not beating this guy in no fight. I know what's about to go down. I got to get the heck up out of here.
And once again, too, you and I were assassins. We're French. We work in Paris.
Okay.
You and I are going to have so much work.
We don't need to cross streams with John Wick.
I'll be at a cafe, just drinking we'll be hanging out, drinking some cappuccinos, just relaxing. And just kind of like after a nice dinner, we get the text 40 million, and then we watch 8 guys get plowed down by headshots.
I'm turning on Arsenal again.
I'm ordering another cappuccino.
Yeah, I I think we're playing Liverpool this weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna put that on. I'm good.
And if he knows,
my phone was off. I didn't get the message. What? Really, John Wick's? I didn't know. I did something like my service. I got T-Mobile. Maybe that's what's going on here. I didn't because there's no way.
Hello, I'm losing you.
What? I'm in a tunnel. I'm going through a tunnel.
And if he knows us and he walks by.
No. It's a misconception. Just getting shot for John Wick. You crazy?
All of our friends are dead, and you and I just clean up. And if he knows us, like I would just put my hands up in the air, just like not even threatening, be like, I'm not coming for you, man. Like, let me drink my cappuccino.
Hey man, John, I'm going to that cafe right over there. You can keep walking up.
Yeah, I'll put my hands up in the air. I don't
care what hot radio disc jockey plays what song on the radio. I'm not going after you, John.
I can't spend money if I'm dead, John.
First off, that number is way too low. If it was 400 million, sure. Yep. Okay, I get it. 40 million is not enough. That is not enough money.
You and I are on a team of 80 assassins, and we're kind of not great assassins. And we're like, oh, hey, go kill John Wick. That means we get, what, 500K each?
Not even close to worth it.
Yeah.
Not even close to worth it.
No. Let me have my cappuccino. You can watch your Arsenal game. And we will have so much money and work after this.
I'll give you $500,000 to go try to kill the most deadliest person that was ever born. This guy's killed more people than cancer. And I want you to go after him for $500,000. No. No. You better add about 6 more zeros. There's no way I'm going after that guy.
And moving traffic.
With a dog who is just on its own team attacking my nuts. There's no way that's going to happen.
And here's the deal. Let's say let's just try to snipe him. Let's go from like a quarter mile away.
You better make it.
And just wait. But like if he's going one way, like we'll be like, okay, we're going to wait till he's walked away from us about 100 yards. And we're on the top of this very large building. Let's try to pot shot him from up here. Because if we don't kill him, he's not going to come back for us. He's just going to keep going. Like, he's not going to come back for us, run up a skyscraper, and then kill us. And then go down.
But here's the thing. Let's say we're on that building and we're going to try and pop shot him, like shoot him in the back with a sniper rifle from 500 yards out. And that's not the thing you got to worry about. John Wick has people that want to kill John Wick more than we want to kill John Wick. So they're going to kill us so they can kill John Wick. So I got to worry about John Wick and this other guy I don't even know who's around with a dog that's going to shoot me in the back because I'm taking aim at John Wick. It's not worth $500,000 is what we're telling you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about nobody shooting people.
Nobody shooting people who are trying to kill John Wick? He's like, wait a minute. I'm already in for a penny trying to kill John Wick. Now I got to worry about this guy too? And Donnie Yen? What the? No. No.
Another cappuccino, please.
Please. Making a picture. Can I get a picture?
like, have you seen So I Married an Axe Murderer, the gigantic cappuccino that he drinks from? I would just be like, Wick, I ordered this. I mean business. Like, nobody, I see you over there. Donnie Yen, Kane, don't kill me. Like, I'm not able. Don't kill me.
I don't want to be involved. I want to be the operators. I'll write it on the chalkboard, but that's about all I'm doing. That's about it.
I ordered some petit fours. Like, I'm going to be snacking. I'm going to be drinking caps. Just let me be.
You're going to be so strung up on caffeine. It seems like you're going to just crazily go after John Wick. You're not going to even remember, how did I get here? Did I actually go after John Wick? What was it? Why did you try and stop me, man?
Caffeine again, Hoffmeyer. Yeah! And then he would just knock me out. Wick would just knock me out, I think.
John's the caffeine, man. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Mark, drink some water. Eat something.
Did you have a donut?
Take a shot of tequila, calm yourself down, balance it out. And like, he just
he's gonna grab you by your tie and like strangling with you, and he's gonna say, as your last moments is gonna be a John Wick pun. Caffeine will kill you, and you're gonna just go out. That's how you're gonna die.
Wake up and out. Oh man, because he kills all those henchmen. Like, let's say he shot one and they're laying there, he just goes and headshots.
Yeah, they're already done. And he just makes sure.
I would love the conversation though between the three of them after I attack him with all my caffeine in my body. They're like, should we kill him? I don't think it's personal. I just think he's caffeinated.
I think he's just looking for a target. Just point him the other way, like a top.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, look, Hoffmeyer, look over there.
Look over there.
That guy has a $2,000 bounty on his head. I'm like, ah!
Go after Brian Mills. He's also in Paris. Go that way.
Oh, man, I get karate chopped by Liam Neeson?
Liam Neeson has hit you in the head. Do you know where my daughter is? No, I don't.
I just drank a lot of coffee. All right, go. Walk it off, son. Walk it off. There's no time. And like on my resume, survived John Wick, Kane, Mr. Nobody, Brian Mills.
Brian Mills. Inexplicably Brian Mills.
The John Travolta character, that bald one from that movie. High blood
pressure. John Travolta character from Paris with Love or whatever.
Just, I survived. I'm like, how'd you do that? Just drank a lot of coffee, got a little too hyped up. Oh man. All right. This is something that's been really on my mind. And before we get out of here, I want to do this with you. I think we've done this before, but I want to talk about our favorite action film since 2010.
Okay.
On this episode. I don't know. Have we done this before?
We did this. We had this message.
Oh, we did the poll, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, that was really good. But where does this rank amongst those then?
What was my number one? Was my number one Parabellum? I think Parabellum's still number one.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. No,
I think my 5 was Parabellum, Rogue Nation, Skyfall, Dread, and Infinity War. I think this would be in the top 3. Wow. I would knock 2 of those things down. Just for the Dragonfire sequence itself is worth the price of admission. That is stellar. Something you've never seen before filmmaking. So yeah, I would put it in top 3. I still think I like Parabellum more. This is probably my second favorite John Wick movie. I think it's just because the first 30 minutes of Parabellum is freaking insane. Again, they're all insane. But this movie is fantastic. I think in terms of character, this movie's better because again, we mentioned them a lot. Donnie Yen damn near steals this movie. He is fantastic. But yeah, it's in top 3. I'd say top 3.
Wow. So I think my top 4 are set with Raid 2, 13 Assassins and The Night Comes for Us. But this would fight for the 5th spot between Mad Max Fury Road and, probably John Wick, like, I love Edge of Tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah. I think I put Fury Road over this. No, I love this. No.
Yeah, but like that's like saying
it's hard. It's splitting hairs.
Yeah, Fury exactly. Like these are two amazing burgers we're talking about here. Not like it's basically like I give one a 9.7, and then I give one a 9.71, and then I give another one a 9.7.
Do you want the super bacon cheddar burger or the super cheddar bacon burger? Is essentially what you're doing right now. They're both fantastic meals.
Amazing meals. But I guess for me though, watching the Raid 1 and 2 and just the thriftiness of it and the really interesting visual effects and
the soundtrack for Raid 2,
it's beautiful. And then The Night Comes for Us is one of the most violent, dirty, mean things I've ever seen, and I adore it. And 13 Assassins, I love. So I think the villain is absolutely reprehensible. I think that who the 13 men are. Shinzemon at the end, the big fight, the blood, the guts, the beer, the mud. It's just an amazing experience. So it's just very hard for me I don't think anything could move those top 4 for me.
I've yet to see a fight, and I'm waiting to beat the one in Raid 2, the kitchen fight. I bring it up every time. It's like until I find. I don't think I'm gonna find one. I've been waiting. When did that movie come out? 5 years ago? 6 years ago?
2014, so like 9 years ago.
9 years ago. 9 years I've been waiting for a fight to even come close to that one, and I've not seen one yet. So that Raid 2 is not moving from my, I just saw the trailer for Extraction 2, and the prison fight scene in that trailer, which is excellently done, by the way, is nothing compared to the one from the Raid 2.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
And the one from Extraction 2 is great. It looks great. It does a lot of hidden cuts, but it looks great. The one from the Raid 2 is better. That's how good the one from the Raid 2 is.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Raid 2 ain't moving no time soon.
And also I love Triple Threat as well, because
Triple Threat. Yeah.
I mean, you have Scott Adkins in the worst wig on the planet. You have Tiger Chen, you have Iko, you have Michael Jai White, you have Michael Bisping, who I love. He's one of my favorite MMA fighters of all time. You just have an incredible cast beating each other.
Isn't Tony Jaa in that one?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Tony Jaa too.
Tony Jaa's kicking around in there.
Crap.
That last fight scene, I was like, I swear Tony Jaa was in that movie.
I remember watching that and just feeling like I would just melt into the couch. But that's why I love John Wick, and you're gonna laugh, but the Fast movies, because Tony Jaa pops up.
Yeah.
In Furious 6.
They didn't use him enough.
Yeah,
that's what pissed me off about him being in the movie.
Yeah, and but he had a fun fight scene with Paul Walker. I love their fight scenes, and then in Furious 6, Joe Taslim's fight against Han and Roman, that's the best fight in the franchise because he obliterates them. And they're both so sweaty. And like Roman punches Han, and at the end of it, they're like, nobody has to know about this.
That's my favorite Fast film, by the way.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Because mainly because one, that's a realistic fight between those three people. Because that's exactly what would happen. Probably quicker, because they get their ass kicked. Yeah. That's exactly what would happen.
And it's the most Fast and Furious of all the Fast and Furious movies. I did the data on all of them, like gear shifts, punch, like Corona. It has a barbecue. It has Corona. It has it has races. It has the longest runway on the history of the planet.
History of the planet.
It has fist fights. It has main character death. Like it has all the tropes of a Fast movie. Sleeveless shirts. Yep. It has all the tropes of these films, but it works. Like the action scenes actually work.
I like Luke Evans. I like Gina Carano's really good. That's my favorite one. That's the only one I was like, this is where I like Hobbs and Shaw, but I don't really count that as one.
No,
the more they use Statham, the better that franchise is. The opening of the one where he's going to the hospital, I like that one because his character is probably the only one I really like out of all of them. He's really, really good. What's his name?
Deckard Shaw.
Deckard Shaw. Yeah, he's great.
You know what's crazy though? He's a serial killer. He's a mass murderer.
Yep.
And then in the next one, The Fate of the Furious, he becomes Uncle Statham.
Oh, he's watching the baby.
Yeah, and they're like, how do we make a mass murderer likable? He saves a baby.
You make him Jason Statham.
Yeah. I would put a Chinese giraffe in there and a baby. and he has to protect both of them while he's wearing a turtleneck. And then he's automatically good. Oh,
He doesn't get a lot of credit, Statham. He
No, he
needs
doesn't.
some credit.
No, yeah, he like he has an action empire. I've pretty much watched all of his movies, but
Yep.
He's a delight. So hey,
Go ahead.
for it. No, you
No, I was going to say he has, for some reason, he just knows how to do action scene poses perfectly. I don't know. I'm watching Operation Fortune, and I'm like, you still got it, man. Like, put more of this guy and stuff. Well, he's in everything, so that you don't need to put any more Statham and stuff. He's in every damn movie that exists.
I gotta tell y'all, I liked Operation Fortune because it's just a breezy crime caper.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, it sucked. It's not as good as Snatch, and I'm like, what is as good as Snatch? Like he's not. Guy Ritchie isn't a bloke anymore.
No.
Like he owns he's an incredibly rich posh dude.
Yeah.
Who just wanted to travel around the world with Hugh Grant and McConaughey and Aubrey Plaza and Bugsy Malone.
I think Guy Ritchie has gotten two of the greatest Hugh Grant character performances in the last 10 years. Because the one in The Gentleman is fantastic, and the one in this one, The Fortune, is also fantastic. He's fantastic in those things.
He blows up everything and just... I love the scene with the wine where Bugsy Malone's like, woo! Like he does that noise. He's like, you've created a monster. And Carrie Ells is this ordering very expensive wine.
Movie's good, man. It's good in a disposable way. It's
TNT, TBS, like FX. If it's on a rainy Saturday,
if that was a
series,
you tell me you wouldn't watch every week, I'd watch that show.
It's like Burn Notice. Like it's breezy.
Yeah, it's Burn Notice of the movie. It's essentially
wow. I love that how Aubrey Plaza shakes Statham in scenes too. Like he's like, I don't know how to talk to you. Like I can't do it. But hey, they needed
more of that. That's the only thing it needed. This thing needed more Statham character because he's essentially the same guy at the end as in the beginning. But yeah, he's still good. His action scenes are fantastic. He's still got it. He's literally still got it.
Yeah, there is no time for any development whatsoever in it.
No.
But that's like Ocean's 11. None of them change.
No. But there was a thing going on. It's Danny and the wife. So there's a thing.
Yeah.
But there's not really anything going. It's just the plot of the movie that's going on in Operation Fortune. I don't think they had a lot of time to do character stuff or stuff that has nothing to do with the plot of the movie. So yeah, the coolest thing was Hugh Grant's character with Josh. That's the biggest relation. And that scene with the missiles is fantastic. That's the best part of the movie for me.
Just a delight. It's very rarely do I sit and watch a movie and go, I really like that.
How the hell did we get from John Wick Chapter 4 to Operation Fortune?
We got to Statham, and then we shifted. So, but hey, where can people find you, DJ? Right behind you, eating a cheeseburger.
Thank you.
Where can people find you online? Where can they listen to your shows? Like
simplisticreviews.net. So just search Simplistic Reviews on iTunes, Spotify, Twitch, whatever the heck you. No, Twitch is dead. YouTube, anything like that. Twitch, I forgot they died. Also, the first episode of our latest episode just dropped this April. Our April episode just dropped on the 1st, and we're dropping our commentaries for a TV show called Gotham Knights. We did the first 2 episodes, and oh boy, oh boy, not a good show, not good.
Oh boy. Awesome. Well, yeah, definitely. And then I sometimes drop in for voice work. Jay has done some characters, so check it out. It's wonderful.
Live on the air, we're doing this right now. I have a script that I'm going to give you probably in a week that I need you to do the voice for. Will you do it?
Sounds great. I'll happily do it. Oh, and I have some things to read right now. I asked people on MFF about action films that they love, and I got Mad Max Fury Road, recent-ish from 2010. I got Stretch and Boss Level, Haywire.
That's when they dubbed over Gina Carano, right?
Oh yeah, but the actions, oh my gosh.
It's a good fight scene, yeah.
Predators, Book of Eli, and then
Predators underappreciated. Predators, I love that movie. Book of Eli,
it's fun, man. It's so fun. And then we have Night and Day, which is actually better than I remembered. The Losers is actually better than I remembered. We have Mayhem from 2017 with Samara Weaving and Stephen Hyun. My buddy Tom loves Battleship and Pacific Rim. Robin says Becky, Snowpiercer, Atomic Blonde, and Mad Max Fury Road.
Atomic Blonde's awesome.
And then Tom once again says Lockout, because that's just an absolute delight. Overlord.
Overlord's fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. I love that film.
And then Ty Nguyen says A Man from Nowhere and Man on Fire. Jesse Deal says Edge of Tomorrow, Hardcore Henry, and Kingsman: The Secret Service. And I got one more. Jason Rainey brought up Paper Tigers on Twitter. So that's a very fun one from Well Go USA, which you should watch if you haven't done yet. So those are some recommendations I got, or some movies that people love.
Good jester movies. Good jesters.
Yeah. Dance.
Dance jesters. Dance.
I just get a vision of Ben Stiller dancing for somebody. And Zoolander. Ay, ay, ay. Well, hey, man, this was awesome, and it flew by, and I'm so glad we talked about it. And, yeah, I feel like my ribs hurt now from laughing and talking about all the punches.
Somebody's going to really break your rib. You better be here. Don't drink any cappuccinos. Stay away from caffeine.
I'm going to run down to Miami and just do that. Have you ever broken or bruised a rib?
Yes.
It's miserable.
It's the worst. You can't sleep. You can't breathe. You can't laugh. It's horrible.
You can't do anything.
Nope.
It's terrible.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even cool. I didn't even get in a fight or anything. It was just like, I think I slept wrong and I had a hairline fracture on my rib.
Did you
I
sneeze?
got an x-ray. I'm like, really? That's what you found? Yep. Sucked.
Remember when we used to have to hurt ourselves to hurt ourselves? Nowadays, you just sleep wrong or sneeze.
Yeah, we're old. So if you sleep wrong or sneeze or you stretch incorrectly, we break down like peanut brittle. Okay. So.
And that's you know what sucks about peanut, like you could rip a Twizzler in half and the rest of its integrity is going to stay pretty great. But you rip some peanut brittle, it's like turning into sand in your hand.
Because it's not real. Peanut brittle is the devil's plaything, okay? It's not supposed to be consumed by mankind, but we eat it anyway.
That's the name of this episode. Peanut brittle is the devil's, what is it?
Plaything.
The devil's plaything. John Wick, Chapter 4, Peanut Brittle and Devil's Playthings. Well, this was awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for DJ Valentine, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week. Awesome, man. This was great. Thank you.